Hello, my guest today is Irina Tsukerman, a human rights, national security attorney and analyst based in New York. Hi, Irina.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for finding time for me in your busy schedule. I know you are in Geneva this week, so it should be really late for you now.
11 o'clock.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thanks for that. Can you briefly introduce yourself and probably, if not a secret, share the reason of your this week's travel to Switzerland?
Absolutely. So I wear two hats. On the one hand, I am a lawyer. I have a legal practice that focuses mostly on national security issues and advising clients, including Americans abroad, about legal issues, providing services in that niche area. On the other hand, I have a separate and distinct strategic advisory company that focuses on providing media security services, geopolitical analysis. A lot of it has to do with human rights, advising NGOs on human rights issues and working with them in the international context, such as in various European fora. I'm in Geneva with a coalition of Yemen-based NGOs and their partners in Europe. We are focusing um, we are focusing our work on seminars and meetings with the international human rights organizations. The seminars expose the crimes committed by Iran-backed Houthi militias in Yemen against civilian population, and some of the issues that we've covered include children and women's rights, cybersecurity, attacks on media freedom, and landmines. And that was a particularly personal and meaningful topic for me because I had spoken extensively about the landmine issue in Azerbaijan, not just in Yemen, and there are many parallels between the two countries and the situations. For instance, the original landmines um, that were used by the aggressor parties in their respective conflicts originated in the Soviet Union, but eventually, of course, more sophisticated types of weapons of landmines were developed and used extensively against civilians in violation of all international and national laws. Unfortunately, that issue does not get nearly enough attention, and
Mhm.
of course, it requires a lot more international cooperation and assistance, which is why I was helping draw attention and speak out about it.
Yeah. Wow, thank you. That's really sounds a lot on your agenda, and these are really serious and important subjects. And Irina, I have been following you on social media for a while now, and I love your posts, articles, interviews, and the main reason is that I love them for their fairness and objectiveness, which is very rare in journalism and politics these days. How do you remain true to your beliefs, to your principles in today's world?
Uh, Staying true to principles is not difficult for me personally because uh, I'm not solely motivated by financial or profit motive. As everyone else, I'm a professional. I've earned my degree. I need to earn money, but I can do that through a variety of different ways, and they don't have
Mhm,
to be dishonest, and they certainly don't have to be at the cost to my own professional integrity.
mhm.
Somebody with the right variety of skills can earn money anywhere, and this is why troll attacks claiming that I'm taking money to for spreading propaganda are silly and nonsensical.
Mhm.
Journalists are professionals that get paid, but you can always see whether someone is merely spouting talking points or does
Mhm.
their independent verification and research, and whether somebody changes their mind on an issue whenever they get a new sponsor, or whether they're consistent in what they
Mhm.
say to different media outlets
Yes.
and throughout their career. And I think I've stayed very consistent. Haven't had any problem
Yeah.
speaking to whether friendly or hostile
Mhm.
media or other fora or audiences on the subject. What drives me is interest in the issues, and I choose the issues I focus on. Nobody's time and resources and internet that cannot cover every human rights issue, however important in the world. But there are areas to which I am instinctively drawn based on my own experience, my own knowledge, my own skills, and the networks where I happen to build professionally, and which makes sense in that context. Or I try
Yeah.
to apply myself in a way that makes sense while also sticking uh, to to the issues in an honest, professional way.
I see. So actually it's not difficult to you because you are remaining your just authentic self, your genuine self, and this comes natural. Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. Although, as I said, I'm following you in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter for a while. It was your recent post on Facebook which kind of triggered the request to interview you because I was so attracted by it, and I will read it. So you posted a picture of yourself, beautiful picture in red blazer, and actually your post was, they say red is too aggressive. They say to be moderate and not to draw too much attention. They say I'm too much, but better to be much than too little. A warrior is fierce. I'm warrior, and I see life in the bold colors. Bold is beautiful. Time for some changes. So this verse resonated with me so much. And what triggered this post, this kind of amazing statement to the world?
You know, I think part of it was when I went to do the photo shoot, I already had a specific image in my mind. And even the photographer, who was great, who did an amazing job, and who was a pleasure to work with, but he was surprised of my choice to use red against a black background, because usually as a lawyer, and I was going for a very professional photo shoot, lawyers generally wear conservative colors. They try to present themselves as fairly, kind of wearing very placid colors, dark blue, navy blue,
Yes.
gray, black, and so forth. But I thought, you could be a little bit colorful. You can stand out without also being inappropriate or in any way crossing the line between uh, being assertive and being overly aggressive. But at the same time, I also was thinking about my own personal life, how people are always sometimes they find it difficult to relate to the way I present myself, because I'm a very outspoken, opinionated person. But again, I think there's a line between um, fighting for what you believe in, for what you're pointed in, and being obnoxious, aggressive, rude, and unprofessional. And so often in the legal world, in the business world, we see people confusing being aggressive with being assertive, with being a zealous advocate for your clients or for your
Correct.
causes. But most importantly, I think there is a general contradiction in the way the world wants to, from people in general, also sometimes from women. They want them on the one hand to be at the front of whatever issue it is. At the same time, you're not supposed to be over the top. There is expectation that you have to be balanced in some ways, and I'm trying to figure out, why does anyone has to fit into somebody else's expectations other than being professional, being civil, courteous, and delivering what you've committed to. Everyone has different styles. Some people are naturally more uh, uh, quiet, other people are more naturally talkative, but at the end of the day, what matters is whether or not you are doing the right thing, whether you're going around it in a way that's professional, that and the only boundaries you're really supposed to stick to is whether or not you're doing right by other people, or whether you're just walking over bodies in your quest for some personal ambition. But I think at the end of the day, we should not let other people define us, who we want to be, how we see ourselves, and how we present ourselves, and do whatever makes us comfortable and makes us stand out in the world. I think too many people confine themselves to expectations of others, be they family, their colleagues, the environment, their community standards, and as a result, they don't fulfill their own potential, and they become they lock themselves into a box. I don't want to be in the box. That's what I was
Mhm.
trying to say.
Yeah, excellent. Wow, that's amazing, and this again resonates a lot with my coaching program as a success and career coach for women. I help women building their confidence and self-esteem. And actually, listening to you, I'm dying to ask you the question. So, how you build your confidence? You come across and as very confident person, and so what are your tips? So, how you build your confidence?
I'm not always confident in myself, but I am always confident in when I'm doing the right thing. And there's a big difference because there'll be days when you are not your best, you're not feeling well, or something happened that you put you in a bad mood, or things are just not working out according to the plan, and you are not going to feel on top of the world, and that's normal, it's human.
Mhm,
But as long as you're sticking to your integrity, to your
mhm,
principles, as long as you're acting as a decent human being, as a professional, no matter if you have an off day or
mhm,
something happens that you're not at your best, you can feel confident ultimately. You can feel
mhm,
satisfied and you can have
mhm,
a deeper sense of meaning that goes beyond temporary happiness or self-confidence or self-esteem. You
mhm,
can achieve great things even having occasional low confidence and low self-esteem, but it shouldn't come about obsessing about yourself and
right.
who you are today or tomorrow or how people see it, but rather whether you're doing what seems right, what you want to
Mhm,
be doing with your life, gives your life meaning, or
mhm,
whether you have compromised yourself to the extent that that's what makes you not confident
mhm,
in yourself.
mhm,
The real confidence comes not from being being seen as the best or having
mhm,
all the
mhm,
accolades
mhm,
or even feeling particularly great about yourself. It comes
mhm,
from knowing that what you are doing, that you are striving to do the best possible. You're
mhm,
striving to grow and improve and fix your mistakes and learn from your mistakes and stay within your moral framework.
mhm. Excellent. So what I'm hearing is actually it's easy to be confident when you understand you don't need to be perfect for others. You just need to be, in peace with yourself, comfortable with yourself and within your skin. So and then you can be confident, right?
I think the confidence, many people see confidence as just feeling great about yourself and
Mhm, mhm,
feeling like you're the boss. You'll go out and you kill it.
mhm,
No, it's not always the case. You can
mhm,
feel very apprehensive, nervous. You can feel
mhm,
down on yourself, but still be a confident person because at the end of the day, no matter how bad you're feeling about yourself, you're
mhm,
still, even at your lowest, not going to give up on the course you're
mhm,
pursuing. You're
mhm,
going to get up if you've fallen, and you're going to
mhm,
stay to what you believe to be your
mhm,
uh, to be your the course you believe to be right.
mhm.
That's where the confidence is.
Yeah.
It's the ability to continue with what you're doing no matter how horrible you're
Mhm,
feeling about yourself.
mhm, mhm. Yeah. And Irina, many women have fear of public speaking.
Mhm.
And you are a public person, you speak in front of big audiences. So what will be your advice, how to overcome the fear of public speaking?
I'll be honest with you, it hasn't been easy for me at all.
Mhm,
I had been naturally very shy. I was not shy in asking questions in class or talking about something I felt confident in, but when it came to giving public addresses where all the attention was on me and maybe the topic was new or out of my comfort zone, I had a very strong physical apprehension and
mhm,
nervousness. And frankly, I still sometimes get nervous depending on the context if I feel it's something very important.
mhm,
But along the way, first of all, practice makes perfect. The
mhm,
more you have experiences, and the more you realize that the world is not going to end, and you can practice your delivery. You can feel a little bit more comfortable with being
mhm,
extemporaneous and speaking from your heart, as long as you know the topic, as long as you feel
mhm,
prepared in terms of your message. The
mhm.
message is what drives the confidence. Knowing
Absolutely.
that you have a story to tell or a message to give or something to communicate that is important, that kind of eventually comes to become your priority and what people think of it, well, at the end of the day, everyone is going to have a different opinion, and that's not a bad thing. That generates discussions, that helps you become more prepared, answer questions. It's interesting and it's exciting, but it doesn't come easily and
Yeah,
naturally to most people, I would say. I think very few
exactly.
people are truly confident from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
One of the practical tips that I've gotten very early in my legal career, but while I was still in law school, is when you're making a presentation to speak slowly. It's not natural. When you're nervous, you tend to rush,
Mm-hmm.
but actually to slow down your breathing, to focus, and to actually almost physically point something. If you're doing a PowerPoint, physically point on to the screen. If you are handling a poster board, physically point what's on the board, or if you are, or otherwise, if you hold some small object to use it to make your point, it will help you focus on that physical gesture and ground you and take your mind off your sense of anxiety. So that I found that actually much more helpful than the standard advice. Imagine your audience naked. That I have never found helpful actually. It's extremely distracting.
Yeah. Good, thank you. Yeah, it's actually, again resonates with what I'm kind of trying to promote in my coaching program, that very few people are born like natural public speakers. We learn this through, just through experience and trying, and again, understanding that you don't need to be perfect. You need to know your subject and you need to know what you are talking about. So thanks for that. So you travel a lot. You talk about the problems of women and the problems which women face today in today's world. And I appreciate that the challenges, the problems, they vary depending on which geography you are talking about, which part of the world. But what would you say are one or two key challenges all women, let's say probably globally, something where they have in common, share today in today's world?
I love this question because, frankly, no matter where you are, no matter what kind of society you live in, no, you're going to have the same basic concerns as a human being and definitely as a woman. You're going to have to find a balance between caring for yourself and your family, for your domestic life and your public life, however you define it. That may mean career, that may mean a social role, that may mean a community role that you're expected to play by your family or your associates or your friends. And you're always going to have to figure out a way to define yourself against the expectations of other people, whether you're single or married or transitioning between different phases of your life, whether you're staying at home or working, whether you have hobbies or whatever you are occupying your day with, and whether your life is great or extremely challenging in whatever ways, you're going to have to figure out how to make life work for you. Do not expect rescuers, do not expect anyone to come and save you from your own challenges. Nobody's going to come and help you unless you're willing to help yourself, and unless you're going to figure out what is it that you really want and how you can get there. I don't believe that even in the most dire circumstances, there's no way out. It may not be initially what you like or you want, but you always have choices of how to go about responding to your life circumstances. And I think for women throughout, they always will have to struggle with family dynamics. There's always going to be, I wouldn't say even a power struggle, but there is going to be a back and forth tension between various members of the family and community and career. And it's not just gender roles, but power roles of seniority and things like that. And you have to figure out, how do you project yourself? How do you respond to people not always being kind, not always being appreciative, and not always putting you first, or putting your needs, or acknowledging your desires? Are you communicating what you want effectively? How are you going to push back without also becoming, part of the problem of this of a dysfunctional dynamic? That challenge, that's always going to be the case, no matter where you are or what time period you're living in, what advantages you have, what tools you have.
Yeah, that's so true, so true. So, I'm from Azerbaijan and I have a lot of friends and followers in Azerbaijan, but I see you also have a lot of followers in Azerbaijan, and I know you visited Baku. Also, during very difficult times for our country, you were the one who was putting, the fair word about Azerbaijan into the world. And so where this attitude comes from, I mean, how you are connected to Azerbaijan?
Well, first of all, in general, I don't like lies and deceit and fake media campaigns just that are one-sided, unfair, and grossly misrepresentative of anything. So whenever I see something like that, I try to point it out. But with Azerbaijan, that goes back to my family. My father my father served in the military in Azerbaijan. He was stationed in Gaja, and he traveled around the country, not just Baku. He got to see the borders with Iran. He got to see a fair amount of the country. So I used to hear the stories. Of course, they just made me curious and naturally had have some level of natural interest and affinity because of his experiences there. And later on, I came across people who were culturally involved in Azerbaijan. I saw an opportunity to learn more about the culture. Because I've always been very open-minded to different cultures. I've always had that passion and interest. I was raised to learn about different cultures. Azerbaijan was also one of them. But once I encountered it, more as somebody involved in intercultural relationship building, I thought it was a great opportunity to become closer. And even before the war, I was already making efforts to be engaged in various things. So the war just expedited my level of involvement, but it certainly wasn't the only thing that brought my interest, and I certainly hope that it doesn't define my relationship with Azerbaijani culture, because there's so much more to it than the nearly 30 years of occupation. I really hope nobody has to define themselves but solely by the challenges they've been through.
Thank you so much. Actually, I know that so many people, they appreciated your information support during the Second Karabakh War. So taking this opportunity, just would like to thank you for that. Excellent. Thank you. I know it's getting too late, so I don't want to take more of your time. Thank you so much for this interesting interview. And I'm sure you know that many women who will watch this video will find a lot of interesting and useful information for themselves. And thank you for being with me today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity and your invitation, and I hope we get to talk again in the future.
Yeah, I will be happy to. Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.